Alright, and I'm back. And due to the request for my zombie deck, that's what I'm going to be showing you today. Start out with the land cards again. Swamps, of course, mostly swamps. By the way, I usually run a 70 card deck, 30 lands, 40 other, usually 20 creatures and 20 others, but then I have my non-basic, 2 leech-ridden swamps. Lava Claw Reaches, which has no real use in this deck besides the black mana. I mean, I might try and move it to a different deck and, just to replace it with one that gives me an island and putting a few island cards instead of swamps. And you'll see why in a little bit. Bojuka Bog. It's great. I love using Bojuka Bog on one of my opponents later on in the game. Those are just my lands. We'll go with enchantments next. Zombie Infestation. At first, it might seem like pretty crappy because you had to discard 2 cards to get a 2/2 zombie creature, but later on, when I need zombies to sacrifice, it's perfect. This is just what I need. Grave Pact. Great card. Basically, Grave Pact is in there. And there's a card that I have in here that's an enchantment that counteracts it, but, it's either one or the other. Grave Pact's more useful, but the other one later on in the game is something I'd actually probably need. And there's Unholy Strength, which I'll probably be taking out for another card soon, eventually. Then we have Mortuary, which is the card that counteracts Grave Pact. Grave Pact creature has to go to the graveyard in order to activate, and Mortuary, actually no, Mortuary doesn't conflict that. What am I saying? Because the creature's still put into the graveyard. He's just put back on the top of the deck when they're put into the graveyard. It's a pretty cool card, and it's great for any zombie deck. Just restock your library all the time. Thought Prison. Great for dealing damage and for kind of limiting what your opponent can do while you get your zombies out on the field. It's like, should I play this spell and take 2 damage, or should I just, try and hold up a bit? It gives them a choice. Now on to my instants. I have Dark Ritual, just in case I need some quick mana right in the beginning. Cruel Revival, great because you destroy a creature and return a zombie back to your hand. Guess Verdict, great opening card. Rend Flesh. I love these cards that are so specific, like non-spirit creatures, because not too many people use spirit cards, or at least not too many of the people that I face against use spirit cards. Then there's Terror, which is a pretty limited card considering I can't kill artifact creatures or black creatures, but it's great because it's nice and easy to play. Now for my sorceries. Siphon Soul. Dealing damage and gaining life, definitely needed in a zombie deck. Beseech the Queen. Fun card, really fun card, especially later in the game when you can basically get any creature in your deck. Moan of the Unhallowed. Great 2/2/2 zombies for 4, and then a flashback of 7 for another 2/2 zombies. And damn fly is buzzing around my head. Get away from me. Profane Command. Once again, it's like Cryptic Command. I love these cards that just fit to any situation. Got it. Innocent Blood. Definite first turn card. First turn card right here. First and or second, depending on what order it is. Beacon of Unrest. A continuous rise from the grave. It's amazing. I love it. Mostly because it just shuffles right back into your deck after you use it. Consume Spirit. Fun card. Fun card. Diabolic Tutor. God forbid I need any specific cards out of my deck. Ghoulcaller's Chant. For 1 in this deck, it's amazing. You can bring back 2 zombie creatures, as long as it's a pure zombie deck, of course, but chances are it's a pure zombie deck if you're running like I am. Then Living Death. Great card. Got it in the Phyrexia versus the Coalition pack. Each player exiles all creature cards from his or her graveyard and sacrifices all creatures he or she controls, and then puts all the cards that they exiled from their graveyard onto their battlefield. It's great when your opponent's got so many creature cards out and almost none in their graveyard, and they've managed to wipe out almost all of your creatures. And now on to the creatures. There's a card that's not in my deck that I'll be showing you, but let's get to the creature cards. My headlining creature, not a zombie, but definitely a really good card to have in this deck. Sheoldred the Whispering One. Kill your opponent's creatures while bringing yours back. Gravedigger. You have to have a Gravedigger in a zombie deck. I mean, it's just makes it so much easier to get your creatures back. It's a 2/2 zombie, so you can't really complain. Vengeful Pharaoh, whose ability is amazing in this deck. Love it. Cemetery Reaper. If you run a zombie deck without a Cemetery Reaper, then I'd be a little surprised. Gets you zombie creatures and jacks them up. Corpse Harvester. Great. It's like a Diabolic Tutor for swamp cards and zombie cards. Basically, get one swampland and get a zombie card, and boom, you're ready to go. Nefashu. Great, because whenever you attack, you can give 5 creatures -1/-1. Infectious Horror. Foil Infectious Horror. It's great because no matter what you do, it deals 2 damage. Another card that's not a zombie, but is great in the zombie deck. Grave Titan. Though I don't get how he's not a zombie when he's got a giant hole in his chest. But 6/6 Death Touch whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks. Put 2/2 zombies. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Shepherd of Rot. I actually forced a 3-way tie with this card once. My friends couldn't get creatures out right away, and since I was getting a crap load of zombies out, it was just like, boom, damage to each of us. And I decided, you know what, I could win this game, but I'd rather have my first ever 3-way tie. Death Baron. +1/+1 to all skeletons and other zombies you control, and Death Touch. It's really, really great. It only costs 3 to play. Withered Wretch. Not only is it a 2/2 for only 2 swamps, but if you're facing a Threshold deck, this thing gets really annoying. My friend nearly jumped over the table and tore this card in half. Bone Knitter. Regenerate any zombie. Really cool. It's even got a morph cost as well. Love this card. Fright Shroud Courier. You don't have to untap it during your untap step. And if you tap 2 in a swamp and tap it, it gives target zombie +2/+2 and wow, not Shroud, and Fear. Helldozer. Start taking out your opponent's lands. I remember I kept my friend from playing anything because he had no lands out on the field. Noxious Ghoul. -1/-1 to all non-zombie creatures whenever you play a zombie. Really cool. Phyrexian Crusader. Really nice card. 2/2, first strike, protection from red and white, and infect. Alright, then we have the Soulless one. And he is great even when you're facing another zombie deck. He is amazing. Just beef up your cards even more. Ghoul Raiser. Yeah. Return a zombie card at random from your graveyard back to your hand. And now these 2 cards. I used to run 4 of these in this deck. Undead War Chiefs, but I sacrificed 2 for 2 other cards. Make your zombie spells cost 1 less, and give all zombie cards, including themselves, +2/+1. So I basically give my creatures +4/+2, and they'd cost 2 less to cast. Now, on to the last card that isn't in my deck that I suggest people use in a zombie deck. It's from the new Innistrad. Rooftop Storm. It costs 6 to play and an island, so you'd have to start incorporating island cards in your deck. but it makes it so then you can play any zombie card for a casting cost of 0. It's amazing. And then we have, of course, Scab Goliath, who, even though you have to remove 2 creature cards from the graveyard from the game, he's got Trample and he's a 6/9. It's pretty decent for a creature that you only pay 6 for. And that's it. Tell me what you want to see next. I've got a Defender deck, a Wizard deck, an Orsov deck. I just bought the new Izzet, whatever it's called. The Ravnica's Izzet deck, which is pretty cool. I could show you that too. And I don't know, I'd have to dig up some of my older decks as well. But as of right now, out of those 3, tell me what you want to see. All right? Peace out.